Hey guys, and welcome back to Cultivation with Christy. I'm Christy. I got home early today from work a little bit. I had to run a bunch of errands. So I'm out in the garden, even though I probably shouldn't be because it's hot. But I got a request to talk about onions. So today's Grow With Me, Learn With Me, whatever you want to talk about, is going to be about onions. So, onions are pretty easy. I don't generally start onions by seed. I buy them from an online source, or you can find your local feed store and buy the sets. I think I'll put up a picture of it. I can't remember if they're sets or starts. But you plant them, and this year I did a trench in between the two rows of onions with fertilizer. So I planted the onions and then dug out a little bit, put some fertilizer, granule fertilizer in there, covered it. That way, as the roots are growing, the roots of the onions are growing to the fertilizer. It helps give them a little boost. I don't know that really made that much of a difference. However, I do think that spooning or cupping, depending on the terminology, I think that did help this year. So all that is after your onions come up and have a good size on them, you're just going to move the soil away from the base of the onion down to about where you see roots. And you're going to do that for all of them. That way, the bulb of the onion has room to grow and it's not trying to push out the dirt. You do it for it. So that's spooning. And really, that's all onions need. Onions need a little bit of fertilizer and you to remove the dirt from around the base of them. Now, when harvesting onions, they pretty much go, I can't remember how many days, but it'll say when you buy the variety. But you'll know they're about ready when they start to lay over like this. It'll bend to the stalk, and then you want them to dry out a little bit before you harvest them. So you want this little stem to be a little more firm. Like that one's pretty good because these are still pretty soft, you see. That one's squishy, where this one's pretty firm. And then I'll show you guys when I go to harvest these, and I did it last year, but I just hung these up on a dog kennel to cure. Now, if you remember in some earlier videos, these started to go to seed, so I pulled out the flower from the middle. Those won't last as long as in storage, but they'll be just fine to use. So onions are generally intimidating to a lot of people. I know they were to me, but they don't really need all that much. I have not started them from seed. Maybe that's where the intimidation factor comes from, is starting them from seed. But just don't start them from seed. Buy them from, your local feed store or online. Dixondale is the place that I buy my onions from, my onion starts, sets, whatever they are. And Keene is the one I do garlic from. But yeah, they're pretty easy. They're a spring crop. So spring or fall. I think you can grow them in the fall depending on where you are. But you plant them in early spring. They are frost hardy, so they can stand cold weather. So I think I started these a little late, but you can start them in February, March. If you order them from Dixondale, they'll send them to you when you're supposed to put them in the ground. They won't send them to you early, so you have to store them somewhere. They'll send them to you based on your zone. So that helps take the guesswork out of it as well. But another quick little informational video. You got any questions, something that I missed, let me know. Thanks, guys.